Hello and welcome to your hip stretch series. I'm Coach Ruby and I'm going to be taking you through some standing and seated hip stretches today. Now, the intention of today is to release some stress from the hips and promote mobility too. Now, we are going to be looking at body weight stretches only, so don't worry about having any equipment. However, I do need you to have a chair just to support us in the standing movements, and we are going to be using it for some seated stretches later on. So without any further ado, make sure you have your chair ready and let's start standing. So to begin with today, I just want you to take your legs a little bit wider than hip width apart. We're going to start with some hip circles. Now choose one way, it doesn't matter which, we're going to be working on both. And what I really want you to do is focus on those 4 points in the room. So front side, back side, moving with intention and purpose across all of today's exercises, just to make sure that we get the most benefits. We're really challenging the range. And again, releasing stress that might have been built up in the hips throughout the day or week that we've had. Switch the rotation, switch sides if you haven't already. Keep the feet nice and flat to the floor. And again, just adding some warmth to the lower body, which is going to help us get a little bit deeper into those stretches later on. Final one here, and then join me in a standing position. This is when we'll need that chair. So standing up nice and strong, nice and proud, nice and tall. We're always going to be working on the outer leg. So from here, starting with leg swings, I want you to bring that outer leg in front of you, fully extended, so no bend in the knee, and then behind you. Just be aware of any other objects in the room. I don't want you bumping into anything. With your foot, make sure it's flexed. I don't need any pointed toes across today's session. Now, this is a controlled movement. We're not swinging super fast. Across all of today, they are slow, they are controlled. We are in control of the movement. The movement doesn't control us. Now, with the range across all today's exercises, come to a range that feels comfortable for you. I don't need that leg super high in that range. However, if this is your second or third time joining this stretch session, or maybe you're into running and used to this movement, don't let me stop you on getting a little bit higher on that range, but make sure it's slow, make sure it's controlled. So again, getting the hips nice and warm, releasing some stress here. 3, 2, 1. Keep that leg hovering above the floor, bring it out in front of you. This time, lateral swings. So in front of you and side to side, still making sure that foot is nice and flexed. Now, what I want you aiming for here is crossing that midpoint, so crossing that midsection. Now, if we cannot get there today, that is no problem at all. Maybe that just means revisiting this session a couple more times and seeing if we can promote that mobility across the hips. Make sure hips are staying square so they are looking at me. We are not swinging with the movement. Keeping in control, engage that core. 3, 2, 1. Pop that leg down to the side. From here, keeping with that outer leg. Bring that knee up to hip width, flex at the foot. What we're going to do here is what we call open the gate. So with your outer hand, place it on the inside of your knee and add that force to bring that knee out to the side. Simply what we do here is bring that leg down and repeat a few more times. Now, as we bring that knee up and open, again with those hips, make sure they're square so they don't swing to the side. You're looking at me, we're having that conversation. Opening up that hip, how does this feel? Is that range working well for you today? Or is it saying it is a little bit tight? Maybe the range is coming a little bit more diagonal than out to the side, something that we just continue to work on. Once more on this side, be sure you're not leaning on the chair too much. It's keeping us balanced, but we're not putting our full body weight on it. Bring that leg down to the floor. This time, bring your knee up to hip width and hold it here. We are going to take that ankle and place it just above our opposite knee. With that outer knee, open up that hip. Now, automatically, you may feel that open and that may be enough for you. Just add that necessary force and pressure. If you are feeling quite mobile today and want to get a little bit deeper into the stretch, Join me now as we bend at the knee, we push at the hips, bring that chest down slightly, but the chest is still open, back nice and flat. You may need to wriggle that ankle just to get into a more comfortable position. Feel free to do so. Make sure that outer leg is open. Let's add some force. Whichever one you're working with, here for 10 seconds. Want to make it a bit more challenging? Take that hand away from the chair, place it on your core, adding in that balance, but still working on that hip. Keep the pressure, keep it open. You're doing a great job. For 3, 2, 1, drive up to standing, shake out the legs, same on the other side. Now you can probably just turn around if you would like to. I need to continue to face you, so just switching the chair. Back into that tall, proud position, outer leg always, leg swings. So again, flexed foot, no pointed toes, controlled movement. We may be able to go much faster than this, but that's not the intention today. We are looking at those slower movements and being mindful of how it feels. Now, what we're doing here is working unilaterally, which means one side at a time. One side is always going to be a little bit more mobile than the other. So just bring that mindfulness as we work on this side. Which side is a bit more mobile, gets a bit deeper into the range. Now hover that foot and we go into those front lateral swings. Again, keep those hips nice and square. Well done. What I mean by one side will be more mobile is there's no judgment, there's no pressure, there's no right or wrong answer, but just making sure we are aware of it so we're not pushing beyond a comfortable range on each side. Final 5 here, keep it slow, keep it controlled. 3, 2, 1, pop that leg down, make sure we're nice and strong. Bring that outer knee up to the hip, open the gate, pop it back down. If you need to reset that foot at any time, just remind yourself, sometimes it does go to that pointed position, but we just don't need that today. Now again, bring that awareness. How does this side feel to the other? Maybe we are coming more in line with that lateral push, maybe a bit more diagonal. Make sure hips stay square, facing me that whole time. Well done. This time we keep that knee up and we work on that figure 4. So bring that ankle above the opposite knee, open up that outer knee. Again, this may be enough, in which sense you stay here for 10 seconds. Want to get a little bit deeper, bend at the knee, push at the hips. Again, if you need to adjust, you're welcome to do so. And if you want to challenge it a little bit more, take that hand away. Either way, we're here for 10. Continue to add pressure on that outer knee. Well done, great job. Final 5, 3, 2, 1, up to center, shake it off. Let's sit down. So pop the chair around if you had it similar to me. You did a great job with some of those standing stretches. Now I'm going to show you what you can do if you're in back-to-back meetings and you just cannot do some of those standing stretches, you're on camera, etc. So from here, a comfortable tall posture. So shoulders up, back down, chest out, core tight, back nice and straight. Although we're working on the hips, the posture is always super important. I want you to bring your legs out to the side so the knees are facing a diagonal direction. Feet are flat to the floor. What we're going to do here is similar to our frog stretch. With your hands, you're going to use your legs as a guide to follow it all the way down, come to a range comfortable for you. Once you get to the bottom range, hold it here. Chest is open, back is flat, elbows are inside knees. Drive yourself up to center. You may need to wriggle forward on your chair. We need to be quite near the edge for this one. Once more, inhale through the nose. Let's see if we can get a little bit deep into the stretch. Exhale. Use the legs as a guide. Open up those hips. And if you want to add a little bit of pressure to those knees, you are welcome to do so. 3, 2, 1. Well then, drive up. Final stretch of the day. Place both knees to one side of the chair. Again, we need to be on the edge for this one. We are going to bring that outer leg all the way back into a lunge position. That front foot goes flat, that back one just tiptoes. Now that front knee bent, back leg extended. Automatically, hopefully you can feel that hips start to open. comfortable position. If you need to bend that back knee, you are welcome to do so. Either way, we're here for 5. Keep that hip open. 3, 2, 1. Well done. Up to center. Same on the other side. Pop the knees to the side. Drive that leg back. Front foot flat, chest open, leg extended or bent. Option is up to you. Either way, we hold. So if we can't stand, if we can't get those stretches in, there are still other options that we can do seated, okay? Final 3, 2, and 1. Up to center. Round those shoulders out, walk out those feet, and that is us done for our standing and seated hip stretches today. Hopefully the hips are a little bit more mobile, they've released some stress, and we are feeling good after today's session. As I said, try to stand up, try to move around and get those steps in throughout your workday. If you are in back-to-back meetings, remember there are still stretches that we can opt for. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, I'm Coach Ruby, and I hope to see you all in some sessions soon. Thanks. Bye.